Ram at some point, and I'm glad to finally meet you.
Oh, it's good to meet you too. Are we recording now? Is it recording?
Yes,
Awesome.
it says the meeting is live streamed, so it's recorded.
Awesome. Yeah, I will look forward to meeting you. Finally. Finally, we met each other. Anyone, please, if you guys want to ask Eltrayan any questions, please do. If you have any questions about anything.
Yeah, I wanted to kick off, maybe just like do something basic, just so we have one question going and then whoever's got any other ideas. Yeah. But I just wanted to thank you for your time. It's wonderful to have you here. I've been watching your videos for a few years now, so it's just wonderful to have you in this Pranic Feast. And yeah, the first question that I want to ask is, can you tell us a little bit about how you started this? I guess you talk about that a lot, but it just helps people get going in their juices.
It's good to always start with this because you see there's always people that are new to this, and I know that there are people who don't know me, so it's good to start with this. So since I was a child, I was throwing meat off the window and I didn't feel like eating much. I was looking at people shoving food in their mouths, and I felt like I was coming from a different planet where that's not a habit. So I was looking like that, and it was curious to me that they would need to chew so much at one time, and that feeling of somewhat greediness in terms of food, it was foreign to me. I didn't quite understand it. I was eating some things, but I wouldn't understand all that process of really shoving a lot of food into your body, and eating meat also was foreign to me. So you could say I was having different habits than we normally have. And I was saying to my other friends, other kids, that we are all energy and everything is energy, and I was interested in meditation and everything paranormal, which now to me is the normal, but back then I wouldn't quite get it. And at 17, I became vegetarian without having any information on it, just spontaneously realizing that death meat cannot be nourishment for alive people. So I was also meditating in a crystal and doing numerology and all that stuff. I was interested in anything that has to do with energy. And for 3 years I went on like this, but then I get into the corporate business and having management jobs and working in sales and working like 17 hours per day. So I kind of lost track on my initial programming of everything is energy and we are all light and all that stuff. So I got lost. And for 10 years I was lost in the corporate world and in the achievement and business game. And when I start feeling really, really disconnected and really, really like I wasn't living my life anymore, like I was living another person's life, I got back to meditation. And the next best thing was I got back to healthy eating, vegetarianism, and then I started fasting and doing a lot of detox and purification. That was about 2008, 2009. I continue with this very strong detox times and lots of fasting and stuff for another 3 years. And finally, in 2013, I had a strong realization after 10 days of not eating in the dark room, so not eating, not seeing any light. I started to notice that I didn't need physical food, and I was good with just juices. I was good with even water. And then for more than 40 days I couldn't take anything. I would barely take half a glass of juice per day, or some days just nothing, because my body didn't want and didn't need anything. So I was in a high state of consciousness. And subsequently that went on, and I went on and off with it until 2016, when I started to present my experience at Pranic Festivals. And that's when it started stabilizing. That's when I started to be much better with liquids, and now I feel much better with just water or tea or juices. Sometimes when it's cold or when I get cold and tired, I need hot soups. And very rarely I need, or not need, but like to take solid food in small vegan quantities when I'm with friends or when I need to connect with certain groups and so on. So we've been teaching processes, pranic processes all over the world ever since 2013. We've been having the Pranic Festival in Romania, which is every year in August. We've been doing a Pranic Festival in India, also Eltrayan participated in it. Pranic retreats all over the place, and I'm just sharing with people my experience plus the experience I download. So people are having instant realizations that they don't need physical food. After the festival or the retreats, they just go on and have water for 14 to 40 days with no problem. They just enter into that state just because of the meditations and the insights that we share. I've written 5 books about it. The last one is Pranic Word Book, which is very clear and also scientific aspects of how to be nourished by prana and how to be as free from food as you can be. We don't teach anyone how to completely give up food because it might not be on your life's path right now, but we do share with anyone the energy and the initiation of how to be free and autonomous if you need to. That's my sharing into the world, and I'm more about consciousness now and the level of than I am about not eating. I am aware and still in that state of not needing physical food, but it's very precious to me to see a being that has gone beyond that and has gone into a higher state of consciousness, because really the pranic nourishment is just the beginning. Some of us believe is the end or a very high spiritual realization. For me, it's just as telepathy or telekinesis or any other superpower that once you master, you have to go beyond it because there's so much more. And that's what I can say in a nutshell. Yeah.
I think we have some questions in the chat.
Okay.
Can you see the chat? Yeah. Maybe that's easier if we...
Yes. I'll look at it right now. I would like to know if Eltrayan has ever experienced subliminal or binaural beats, and if she believes it's a good way. Yes, I've been working with frequencies, all type of frequencies, affirmations, subliminal frequencies, solfeggios, all things musical, and all things that can influence your field. Yes, you can program your mind during the pranic process that we offer, which is also online or in video. We do a lot of mind programming and energy field programming. And I also work with the bowls that I have 12 Tibetan bowls that all have specific frequencies. This is, for example, the frequency of the flower of life, which instills the geometry of this seed of creation into our beings. And I work with many other types of sounds and frequencies, and some of my work now has gone from public speaking, which has been for 10 years my main activity, public speaking and one-on-one healing sessions. It's what I did for the last 10 years, but now it's gone into sound healing, dance, cacao ceremonies, everything sound, because they're so important that we program our energy field and the water in our bodies with the frequencies that are very good for healing and recalibration. I'm curious if you can hear this or if it's not coming out well, because sometimes Zoom is tricky.
We can hear it.
So this is my frequency for you today. My subliminal. Yes. Someone asking, how does shifting through liquid or juice or nothing affect your moon time? Yeah, the menstrual cycle can be different, or in the beginning it can also cease for a few. It happened for women to cease their period for a while, because when you don't have so much energy on the lower centers and so much cleaning to do, and you do the circulation of the energy with a microcosmic orbit, you can actually have lighter periods or none at all. So in Qigong, for example, there are specific exercises that you can use, that you can choose to stop your period for a while or decrease the number of days and the flow of it, just because there's so much energy being wasted with the blood that is being shed, and there's calcium and other minerals and iron, and you can diminish the quantity and the amount of time that you're using for that. Tom is on Facebook. Hi, we're waiting for you on Zoom for the Pranic Feast. Hi, Tom. So I think he's trying to get in for some reason. Maybe the internet is not coming well or something. Yes, so that's about the period and how it also affects very much the reason the period changes is because basically this type lifestyle and the practices that you're doing, or that we're offering at least, is changing very much the sexual energy. So while most people are programmed to live exclusively in a somewhat erotic state, you would say, because the sexual energy is always enhanced by meat and sweets and all the chemicals and everything. And look what's happened to the adolescents now. They get boobs at 11 years of age, which is not normal for all of them. When you start refine this energy and purify and upgrade it, it's not so strong, it's not so much influencing your decisions and your life, and you can influence it and shift it and have, as I said, not only lighter periods but a different way of sharing and love making altogether, and you go from just sex into tantra, which is very different. That's also something I felt to share. Yes. Somebody's asking what's our favorite or go-to nourishment when I'm dry fasting. Well, if you're dry fasting, there's no external nourishment. The only nourishment is prana, I feel. But if the person is asking about the practices that we're doing for nourishing our energy body, then we are having specific types of meditations that have to do with energizing and clearing all the chakras. So we go chakra by chakra by chakra, filling it up with light, and we can offer one of those practices today. We go through the whole endocrine system, the nervous system, the cells, the organs, the nadis or energy channels in our body, the muscles, the bones, the tissues, the interstitial tissues, and the skin, and all the systems in our body, and we fill them up with light, we clean them up, we energize them. So that's one of the daily practice that we do, whether we're fasting or feasting. We don't call it fast anymore. When I don't feel to take water is because I have enough prana and I'm in an elated state where nothing else is needed. So that exercise helps. Qigong also helps. We do daily yoga or Qigong. I also like dancing a lot lately. It's just so enriching and good for the muscles and everything, and you feel just great. Especially dancing freely, like in ecstatic dance or meditative dance. And one other method is to work with sound, like I shown you with these bowls of specific frequencies or different sounds, like the solfeggios and the subliminal, which also alter your state of consciousness and nourish your emotional body. Walking in nature, barefoot, laying on the ground, being in water, especially salted water, especially if you can water with essential oils. I just love that. It's very nourishing. Sharing loving things with friends or a lover, that's also good. That's also very nourishing. And everything that makes your heart sing. Like I watch comedy movies to, have fun, or play with kids or play with pets, whatever makes your heart sing, whatever hide, you know, some people when they're fasting, they get moody or cranky. Whatever lifts your vibration from there, you can start with that, you know. Yeah. How long have you been without food or liquids? I think the longest time was 40 or 50 days. I never made a contest of it, so I never count the days. I just go with the flow. So that's why I can't tell you exactly. And it's, as I said, it's not my main focus ever. It just happened naturally. Naturally, I came out of it. Now it naturally happens, and naturally I come out of it when necessary. So for me, I don't even have the concept of time unless I have a meeting and it's an alarm on my phone telling me that there's a meeting to be attended. I don't even count hours or days or anything like that. So, but that's not trying to avoid the question. It's just saying that's not a goal. And the most important thing is to listen to your body and be in that state of flow. Yeah. And it's not a sign of spiritual achievement either. I would like to say I've been you know, in Romania we have people fasting for 70 or 90 days on water. That's 90, and it's fasting. And when they come out of it, they can fight with the neighbor just like before. So there's no, you know, there's no. I mean, there is a slight difference because there's a lot of purification. But then you always have to come back to your suppressed emotions and your unresolved trauma just to heal it. And when we offer pranic processes one-on-one with people, we always go through the clearing the trauma first, healing the burdens in your life first, clearing the programming, and then we go into a deeper fasting, because otherwise you're just kidding yourself that you have a spiritual realization, but eventually you have to come back to all that has been under the carpet, you know. Truth. Do you think is the best way from your experience to manage the traumas that come to surface, or to heal when you're going through emotional detox? Well, if they come to surface, there's no other way than be addressed. I'm not sure I'm getting the question right, Sol. How do you think is the best way to manage the traumas that come to surface, to heal when you're going? Well, when you're going through an emotional detox, you are going through an emotional detox, and that's that. I mean, there's no way out. I mean, other than healing it, there's no way out. I don't see another way than healing it. You can pretend it's not there or avoid it, but it's gonna like kick you in the back. It becomes painful if you ignore it. I don't know how not to heal the trauma when it comes to surface. You kind of have to address it. So that's why throughout the one-on-one processes, we first address the traumas, as I was saying. That's the most important thing. Even if they don't surface, we look for it, we dig for it, and it's still gonna, you know, be obvious at some point. Yeah. So this is what I saw so far in the questions. If there's other questions, we can also talk one-on-one, or hopefully
I was wondering about sleep.
Yeah.
About sleep. Do you sleep less now that you have changed your way of eating? And
Yes.
how? Okay, can you speak a little bit about sleep? And
Yes, so most of the times if I'm only on liquids, I sleep very little. For example, I kind of need to sleep around uh, between 10 to 12. I need to get out of my body for some reason. It's a necessity. So I even avoid driving or setting sessions at that hour, because I know my spirit wants to travel. That's the thing. And even if I don't feel tired, I can be in the middle of the conversation and my consciousness just shifts into the astral realm and like zones out. That's one thing. And then I come back to my body around 2 or 3 a.m. and I start doing meditation or sound healing or just activities like in the middle of the day. I can even answer emails or anything, but I prefer to meditate or do practice during the night because everybody's quiet, all the minds are like shut down, and there's the frequencies are much lighter. And then around 5 or 6 a.m., I get out a little bit more for some reason, and that's the time when I join other people in the astral realms, other colleagues, and we do group healings. So many people lately have reported, especially close friends, have reported to have these meetings with me when we join either schools or large groups of people and we do healings. And I sometimes wake up a bit tired or a bit, like this, and I start my practice again in the morning with the meditation and yoga and qigong and la la la. So that's normally my rhythm. There are times when you can, shift out of it. Like, for example, there are nights when I don't sleep at all, and there are other nights where I sleep for 6 hours for some reason, either because my body is going through something. uh, if I go to a new area and I worked with the area for 2 or 3 days, then I have to have a night of sleep, at least 6 hours, just to integrate everything. Or if I went through a heavy traveling or carrying luggage or anything that has exhausted my physical body, then my spirit needs to leave it for a while and to regenerate. Or if I choose to, because I really want to, I do a warm bath in the evening, or cashews or or something that, nuts, something like this, or a warm soup, and then I can sleep for more hours so that I don't necessarily wake up at 2. I can sleep until 5 or 4 or 6 or something like this, because sometimes you just like to do that, because I have to join other things in other realms and my body needs to sit still and my mind completely quiet. So that's my rhythm now, and it varies, but for sure, if I take more than 2 juices in a day, or some vegan solid food or warm soup, for sure I'm gonna need to sleep it off. That's a rule. Yeah.
I think it's very funny. I call this process the natural state because everything you said right now, it's my schedule. Like it's literally the same schedule that I have. And
Many of us have this. Yeah.
yeah, it is very strange, but that's the natural flow of things, Like I used to wonder why I wake up, why I sleep 12 to 2. If I sleep 3, I feel my body is like, it's like I get sucked into a different hole if I sleep 3 and then 4. And then I know the times that I need to regenerate and recharge my body. It's a natural flow.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes, I'm happy that it resonates with you. And there's even in yoga or Tibetan practices, I don't remember, there's rhythms and cycles during the night. They do specific meditations, and I think it was Sadhguru or something explaining these cycles.
Hmm.
If you look it up, I think it was him explaining these cycles, that between 2 to 4 or 2 to, around those hours, something happens at the planetary level and in our organs also, because each organ has specific cycles of healing and regenerating and so on. So something happens in our biology connected to the morphology of the planet that makes it more efficient for us to be awake and meditating at these hours and sleep at other hours, and the
Yeah.
same is for sleep, that you need to sleep at certain cycles. Also, one thing I need to add is I avoid to take food at all during the day in general. I mean, in general, if anybody serves me anything, I avoid it because I tend to snooze out instantly afterwards. So my attention diminishes a lot, and my joie de vivre, my joy of, sometimes I can do it. I mean, if it's a lunch with friends, I might taste something. but I have to kind of withdraw afterwards and just process that. And they see me paying less attention to the conversation and being less outwardly because my body is doing something. So I mostly take food when sleep is possible after, right after it, if ever I taste something. Yeah.
I can relate to that too. I can relate to that too. Because when I'm with friends and I drink my juice, I end up sleeping in the car. I'm just laying in the car while they are going outside, and I'm always in the car. So I've learned to just say no juice for me when I'm hanging around because I have more energy when I'm not drinking anything.
Yes.
And I use my food and just to sleep really. So interesting. We have the same
Yeah.
schedule.
It's a form of grounding also, and touching base maybe with the lower centers. And I get very buzzy in my inner rhythm, like it's like my cells are vibrating all the time, zzz, all this.
Mhm.
And sometimes you need to put that to rest somehow. And it works when you put yourself in a hot bathtub or sitting on the ground. But sometimes with the Schumann resonance that is right now on the planet, have you guys noticed the Schumann resonance? Like it's gotten to 190, 190 hertz. It used to be 7 or 8, just to give you an idea of the magnitude of the increase in Schumann resonance. So sometimes the grounding just doesn't work because the planet is going through a very high state herself, and it's even higher sometimes than the frequency of our own body. So you could say the planet is discombobulating your own cells instead of grounding them. It's very different now. So sometimes, yeah, sometimes you just do what you gotta do to just go through all this solar flares slash Schumann resonance slash transformation, however best we can, and not putting no. Are there any special reprogramming steps, practices to support weight balance once you enter longer natural states, fasting, feasting, space, e.g., over 30 days? Yes, thanks for asking. That's very important, and we always say it in the processes that we share, that you can always reprogram your body to the perfect weight. I had this weight and shape for the last 10 years, I think. The last time I lost weight, I lost up to 7 kilos or more in my first time of not eating for more than 30 days. I lost, and in my height, I'm 160 meters. 7 kilos is like a huge thing. I was very small. I was very small, and everybody was scared. So I realized that even though I'm feeling energized and very good, my body doesn't know that I'm nourished in a different way. So I had to tell it. So you have to talk to your body and tell it that it has the permission to be nourished in a different way, and that light is also food, prana is also food. And then you can, there's a specific programming that we do, that you actually give your body to spirit to make it the perfect weight that it wants you to be. Your higher self is taking command and control or of every cell, and makes the whole shape of you the perfect weight, and shape that. And sometimes my body puffs out around the festivals, especially before starting a festival. In the festival that I organize, it rounds up a little bit, because then everybody says, "Oh, you're in Prana and you're so curvy." But I'm not really curvy, but I have everything right in place, right? And everybody's happy. And after that, it depuffs back again because it knows that I like it leaner. I don't. For example, I don't like to have a belly and so on. So and it does it naturally because I gave it up to spirit, and that shapes it the way it wants without me taking food or not. I also have a special relationship to sea and sun, and I can gain weight when at the sea. So for example, I was at the sea last week, and or no, in France, I was at the sea and taking sun bath and sea baths every day, and my scale was going. I had the biggest weight since the last 10 years. So I was gaining 500 grams to a kilogram each day just by sitting in the sun and bathing in the sea without taking food. um, I was on liquids, but my body was soaking on it because then it was going through trains with hundreds of people and it was giving that energy out somehow. So it my weight would vary like this, and it was very strange. And I was just talking to my friends saying that the maximum weight I had over the last 10 years was 52 kilos, the maximum weight, and now it was going to 53, 53.5, 54, 54.4. And it was so weird from one day to another. And I don't use scaling at home. I haven't weighed in myself in years, but I had it there in my apartment in France. So I was just playing to see what's happening with my body because I couldn't see in the mirror much. It wasn't obvious. I wasn't puffy or clothes not fitting or something, but something was happening in my energy making the weight heavier than usual. So that's another strange thing. And there's a scientist in our festivals who has measured people, and it has noticed that some of them, when they meditate or sleep, they can gain a few grams just by doing that activity. So it's a weird thing. It hasn't been tested much scientifically, but it seems that we can vary in weight according to our activity, our energy work, especially. Yeah.
If I can add to that, body movements. Body movements is great. And meditation, I do really gain weight by meditating. I know it sounds weird, but I do gain weight by meditating. This thing is whole mind, So when you move your body, that's what helps you gain weight. It's not the food that actually helps you gain weight. It's like you moving your muscles, exercising them. So I do a lot of stretches, I run, I move my body as much as I can. I normally say my movements throughout the day is my snacks. So it's like I'm snacking through the whole day by just moving around. So just remember, movement, it's a great thing if you want to gain some weight. And it will fluctuate, but eventually, you'll go with the flow. Really. I will try the beach.
The beach, exactly. And it's really important. For me, movement does the opposite. When I dance, for example, well, when you do weight training or anything that has to do with the muscles, yes, you gain weight because actually there's more energy going through your muscles that actually makes you weight heavier. When I dance, however, my weight is diminishing for some reason, and I like it. I don't care actually. That's the thing. And I didn't care when I lost weight either because I was very happy. But I noticed that it's better for what I have to present out in the world. It's better that I have a nice shape. Like people take it better that way, and it's good not to be emaciated or skinny or too puffy. It's good when you have a best because people trust it better. And for me, it's just about transmissioning the message the best way possible with the looks, with the everything that I'm, because all this is a hologram. It's a matrix. Basically, it's like it de decombobulates and recombobulates, decomposes and recomposes with every breath. And what you see is the interface of spirit going through this shape, speaking out. Yeah.
Any other questions? I think Eltrayan is still struggling.
I just love it. Yeah, I think he's struggling. Has anybody tried to call him on WhatsApp? That's the best way to reach him and and clarify what's happening. That's how we usually do it. So just call him and see if he's experienced any internet problems or something like that. I would love to see him too. In the meantime, if you
I'm calling him right now, so let's see.
it's good.
So do you have any tips for getting weak while we do a dry fast? I often get weak. The longer the fast goes, the weaker I get.
I don't recommend continuing the fast if you get weak, generally. It's just we don't want to be weak. We want to be healthy. So, but that's one thing. You know, whenever people get imbalanced in any way, I tell them, okay, now take water or now take. But if you're doing it with a purpose, like healing something, or you know, you have a specific goal and you need to continue, then of course, meditation, qigong, yoga, all that we've said so far, that helps with the weakness. All these practices that we've talked about that are energizing your body, they help with the weakness. Laying on the ground, grounding, laying in the sun as much as possible helps too. Anchoring, like grounding specifically with the roots projected all the way down to the center of the earth, that helps too. And if it's not dry fast, then you can take liquids, then choose a liquid that makes you feel stronger, like for example green tea or watermelon juice or kombucha. I use kombucha a lot when I need to feel even buzzier than I normally am. I take kombucha, it just boosts up my rhythm. So you don't have to necessarily go through the, you can still be cleansing uh, while also doing something good for your body. And I recommend to everyone the pranic water. There are some drops that I put in my water that I took from I was gifted by a Russian lady called Galina El-Sharas. I'm guessing some of you have seen her. She's recommending and has given me these drops that I put in my water that shifts the frequency of water. So when you're fasting, you're actually nourished by that water because it has a very high vibration. It has a different molecular structure that detoxes and cleanses your body while you drink it. And it also balances your mind. You know, you become much calmer, and the restlessness that usually builds up is way diminished. I will send everyone a link because I don't have it now, but I will send a link from where you can purchase this water. It's not my website, it's a website in Russia where I get it from too. And we always bring it to the festivals, recommend it to people because that's what I've been using for so many years. You know, Galina has been drinking water mostly since 2003. So she knows about quality of water and how to detox with water and so on. And one other thing is before starting a dry fast or a water fast, is good to detox in advance. The weakness can be just a severe detox. You don't want to put yourself through it. It's best to detox in advance using teas and enemas and specific juices and this water that I've told you about and all that stuff, you know, and colon cleanse and all that stuff, and then go into water fasting. Otherwise, there's so much heavier to fast or feast when you're having lots of toxins in your body, because there's going to be headaches and body pains and pimples and everything, eruptions on your skin. You don't need to go through that if you do the detox in advance. Somebody is asking if it destroys fluoride. You don't have to drink water with fluoride, so don't drink that at all. Yeah, I hope it's been helpful. So the weakness is also due to some toxins being released. Best to release them before you fast, before you go to dry or water fast.
Yes.
Somebody's asking, have you had any physical things like healing crisis of the body or heal through? For example, I'm still healing my lungs, and solar flares seem to trigger them really quite severe. Yes, I've healed quite a lot of things, and people around me have healed a lot of things with fasting or juice feasting, and we've also healed from the virus that has gone through the planet in the past, you know, in the years before. Many people have healed just with juices and some essential oils. So yes, of course, you can heal, and there's many reported cases of even clinics that use fasting as a method of healing.
I just wanted to say something that this group is actually prepared. We have gone through a juice feast, and then we have had like, you know, colon cleanse with was it Monica Prakshalana? So everybody here have gone through that little process before we actually got here. I
Yeah.
saw Dina was asking how far in advance. Dina, we did like a week in advance when we went on a liquid, and then so you should be clean, but you know, depending on everybody's body is different.
Yeah.
Whatever you accumulated, you know, that's what's coming out, right? So everybody have, you know, put in different things in their containers, so that's what's coming out. So the detox can look like different for everybody.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
I didn't cleanse. I did like 2 days before I started juicing. I didn't start at the beginning, so that's probably why I'm going through. I feel a little weak, but like she said, I have pains, aches and pains, and that's probably because I didn't start at the beginning. So, okay,
it can be many
Yeah.
reasons. It can be
It
many
could be
reasons.
many reasons.
Can
yeah,
be also energetic detox that can, can materialize in the physical body. When I, when we have when we have the dark rooms, which are 10 days on juice and water, we start 1 month in advance to detox our bodies. 1 month in advance means no animal products, going mostly on liquids, using specific teas and juices for detox specifically, doing colon cleanse at least 6 sessions before you go into because one enema just doesn't do it. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be taken out. And of course, depending on your level of toxicity in your body, it can take months to detox. Or it can take 2 days. But there's very little cases in which 2 days would do. So that's why the more the merrier, I would say. How much in advance, the more the merrier. When you know
Yeah.
you're setting yourself up for this, just make detox your lifestyle just for a while and see how you feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we're detoxing all the time. Like it's a detox all the time. When it comes to weakness, you know, if you already have a low blood pressure, some people can really experience that, you know, during the natural states. So if you naturally have low blood pressure and, you know, you feel very weak, then, you know, you can stop and, you know, go back on it again if you want to, but you can at least stop. But when it comes to, you know, like Dina, you know, you're detoxing right now, you know, your stomach will make some noises and stuff like that. Those noises has no business in, you know, being there, because it's just like, you know, when you put food into your system, the system wants to break down stuff all the time. And then you make the system work. So that while the system is working, now when you're not putting anything in there, it's asking you, hey, this is time to work, while you're not putting in something in there. So that's why the noises are just coming there, because of your system is used to doing a job all the time, because you are putting something in there all the time. So now since it's, it's on vacation, it's asking you like, hey, you need to put something in. And then your mind is working with it. So it will trick you. You know, it will make a lot of excuses. Like I told you, this is a mind trip. So remember that. And you have a lot of reserves. You know, it's not like you're going to die, but if you have a low blood pressure and you feel very weak, you know, stop it. And you can always talk to, you know, to us after this. But yeah, we all detox differently.
Totally.
Different.
Alice has asked a very interesting question, but Alice, can you come online? Can you come like and talk
Hi.
directly,
Yeah.
because it will be clearer?
Yes, thank you. In this lifetime, I've healed a lot of my body in fasting, detoxing, nourishing through pranas. It's helped immensely. My body has always had this very chronic response, very severe response, especially in the lungs. And last week even, it's quite interesting. It's always when the solar flares come in, I start chronically sneezing, then my lungs tend to go into this very very strong is to underestimate the response. If it was someone else, they would be wanting to get in an ambulance type of thing, and it's prolonged. And I know that I can burn through it. I know that the prana in me will burn through it, but I haven't had this conversation with anyone. And I just wondered if you've ever had something like that, where it's something very specific and very chronic. And if you have any advice on that, if that made sense,
Totally, yes. There are areas in the body that detox more than other areas in the body, depending on the quantity of energy or the quantity of disbalance that has been accumulated there. Lungs have to do a lot with sadness, but it can be very many other things. So when that occurs, you don't just rely on the fasting. You have to do energy work, in my perspective, and go dig for the trauma, go dig for the cause, go dig for the program behind the program. And in my experience, it can be from lifetimes away. So not necessarily in this time, but so for example, when there was an area on my body under my left rib. When I moved my hand through that area, the pain would go all the way to the fingertips of my left hand. Probably somebody has stabbed me there at some point. Somebody hasn't been nice to my body, and it had a cellular memory that in some way affect. So those things have to be searched for. We cannot recommend like a break point. If you wait for 2 more days, it will be over. No, go and dig for it. I'm here to help you if you want. I do one-on-one sessions, or anyone else you trust, but dig for the cause and resolve the cause of it, because anything in the physical has a subtle cause, of course. And solar flares or any type of energy rush that goes through a body just comes to address whatever has been stuck there and needs to be released. So
right.
that's
Yeah.
what the pain tells you. Yeah, basically.
That's really good to know, because it's been that process of, okay, where's the emotion, what's the trauma, where's the shadow, let's integrate that. And it's really good to hear your articulation of that as well, because it's gonna really help unlock things. So thank you so much. Thank you for your wisdom.
Yes, and sometimes the thing is, in my experience, and I meditate a lot, like I meditate all day, every day, but sometimes you cannot resolve a problem from the same level that it has been created. So you need a witness or someone to hold space for you to be able to resolve. And I always call my colleagues or fellow light workers or fellow healers when I can't get to the end of or something, or when it's taking too long or whatever, when something is repeating itself and I cannot see it. I don't want to wait for it 1 more year or for 1 more month or for 1 more week. I want it done, and I want it quick, and I want somebody to tell me what it is.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I can always check with spirit for the accuracy of things and all that stuff, but I don't like to linger on things. Why? Because we are here to be healthy, strong, and balanced, and that's my goal. That's always my quest or my focus. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible. I think if your link's going to get posted in the chat, right, I think I might come to you for a session, if that's okay. It's like the week before last when this happened, or whenever it was, I was like, okay, that's the last time now. We're done with this. It's too long of my lifetime wasted on this. So yeah, thank you so much.
I'll just place my links in the chat just
Thank
so
you.
that you can have details on the sessions and next events and anything, and then you can follow up on that. And you can always find me with my name on Facebook and Instagram, but there's also contact details on my website as well.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Yeah. I wanted to add something on, I know we were speaking on water earlier. If anybody, if you can't get to buying any water and stuff like that, I always say like the power is within you. So please program your water. Every time you have a glass of water and you're drinking your water, you have so much power within you, and the water is alive. So please program your waters. Your water will heal you. Your water will. Monica knows. Monica, you're big on your water. Yes. So, every time you have a glass of water, you have so much power within you, you know, like when you go to the church and everybody talk about, you know, healing water. It's just because of you, they put like good intention into the water, you know. So put good intention into your waters, you know, until you can get to any other waters. You have your own water as well. And yeah, we're going
Yes.
through a lot of detoxes, really, both emotionally and physically. So yeah, somebody was saying something.
I was saying that you can also do that with everything you put inside or on your
Mhm.
body, programming it. Uh, for example, if I take solid food or any type of juice, I've just programmed it to be transformed in the best, most beneficial energy for me now. So I just tell it to be or become the best, most beneficial energy for me now. So I no longer eat or drink something. I just take in the best, most beneficial energy for me now.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it shifts the vibration. Before I was programming it to be transformed into light. And my body was losing weight because it was not knowing that light is food. So I figured that, and I wasn't aware why this is happening, but it didn't take too long, and then I realized, no, I have to program it to be the best, most beneficial energy for me now, which is different than light, because maybe I need the energy of calcium, or maybe I need the energy of whatever minerals. I need maybe the energy of something, whatever it is, and that's what's needing to come into my body. So it literally shifts the frequency of whatever it is that I'm taking. And some people, I give them water, and it says it tastes like church water.
Mhm.
What did you put into it? And I said, no, I just program it for myself and probably change, because they say it tastes differently, and
It does.
sometimes it smells like something like church water. I'm not sure what church water is, but it has some frequencies into it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Church water is just like, you know, a lot of people that believe in something very strongly and really, really putting the intention and love to it. No matter what that love is, no matter what that is, it's just a good intention, you know. So you can also have that good intention and put into your water.
Yeah.
So yeah, and anything you eat, really, just put that good intention to it.
Hi,
Yeah.
Kevin. Yes, we hear
Hi.
you. Hello.
Yeah. I actually had a question, you know.
Mm.
So I wanted to ask, maybe I'm missing the context because I literally just joined, but I was curious if you had any idea if perhaps, I don't know, like people that are vegetarian, you know, usually have this vision about the world of old people becoming vegetarian or old people going vegan, you know. So I was just wondering if you maybe perhaps if it's possible in a long distant future that more and more people perhaps start to learn about this concept and this possibility. Do you ever envision about a society like living around this principle? You know, just something that I had coming in mind.
Yeah, it's a nice question. My view and vision and certainty is that we have already been in this stage before. We have been a society that was nourished by energy and wasn't needing physical food, and didn't really take solid food daily or even regularly in the times of Lemuria or before. And then we forgotten about it because our frequency shifted, and it was necessary for it to shift for a while, and we got to fruits, and then we got to vegetables, and then we got to animal products, and ultimately and worstly we got to meat, and using other beings for our benefits or pleasure, which is the lowest level of consciousness that the planet has experienced so far. And from that, we are again going back to what we already knew, which is that in fact we don't need other beings to die for us to be nourished, and then we don't need to take their bodies or their products for us to be nourished, and then the next level, we actually don't need vegetables either unless we really like them. And then we go, and the planet is evolving. And if you watch the documentary called Vegan, which has been every year they made a documentary since 2016, it's on the plant-based news channel, plant-based news. you see that every year the number of people that are vegan is increasing, the number of products that are being purchased is increasing, the number of chains of, you know, suppliers that are producing or selling vegan products is increasing. So the numbers are increasing in all these things. And with breatharianism, Jasmine has been doing some, and living on light, Jasmine has been doing some statistics, and she kept asking Spirit every year about the numbers, you know, which I never check, but she's more scientific. And really the numbers are going skyrocketing every year with this experience of people being nourished by prana too. And I can tell you about the last 10 years. When I started to talk about it 10 years ago, people are looking at me as if I was an alien coming from a different planet, or I hit my head or something. Even when I was talking raw food or juice fasting, it was foreign notion to most people. Now, look how many people are doing it naturally, and it's a habit or a trend or what have you. And if you hashtag fasting on the internet, it will, a lot of information and a lot of groups on the Facebook with thousands of people doing it will come out. That was nothing, there was nothing like it 10 years ago. You could barely find one person that has done like 3 to 5 days, and now there's thousands of people who are doing 30 to 70 days of water fasting or juice fasting in the world or more. Just for the science of it, not to mention the spiritual groups. So just the people that are only science-based and they're doing it for health. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people in increasing numbers every day. So yes, we are on that road, definitely.
Yeah, it's great to see.
And it's not only that, it's my vision, it's a given, because the planets are evolving, civilizations are evolving in cycles, and now we're coming into the cycle of a spiritual and physical evolution that would naturally lead to that. There's no way around it. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question. I have a question.
Go ahead.
The first time I speak today, because this feast I was decided for me to go in silence, and so I don't speak the whole day, only just listen to the Zoom meeting. So that's the only thing in my question I talk today.
Yeah, we are
your opinion going on silence, or you had periods then helping you to in this process to go in a silent retreat, or going days in just to be in silence?
Yes, apart from the conferences or healing sessions that I have, I'm most time in silence. So silence is basically my daily practice. I don't speak unless I really have to. That's why I've bought all these bowls, so that I can, even in my work, diminish the level of talk that I'm doing. You know, they speak for me, or dance speaks for me when I'm doing ecstatic dance workshops or any. I'm finding new methods of expression, because we're already expressing telepathically and energetically so much, and it's time for other people to hear. But I'm looking for other methods of expression that don't involve using vocal cords so much, because it's so restful and so clearing to shut up. And that's why most of the days, if necessary to express something, I text it. Most of the time, I don't do chats on the phone or live or any ping pong of mind. Just for the fun of it, I only talk when something needs to be expressed or it's important. And I mostly talk in sessions or conferences. The rest of the time, I'm not the one who calls friends just to chit chat. I'm not the one who calls family. Unfortunately, you know, they don't really like it. But I'm in silence. I'm doing silence a lot. Yeah, it's my favorite game.
I think people go naturally silence after a while. You know, you just want to be quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, and with the fasting, it helps a lot, because you consume a lot of energy by putting sounds out. You have to use the muscles in your belly, the muscles in your chest, the throat. And throat chakra has to do with prana, which is ether, which is the main energy feeding you. The more you rest and energize it, the more of that prana you have. It's a direct connection to energy and yoga too. Yeah.
Yeah. And you increase your telepathic abilities, because I really believe that, you know, that's our true communication. you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And another person, Kevin, when you were asking about the world shifting, I really believe that, you know, we are changing now, right? But it's also, I think if everybody just work with themselves, it's all about, you know, tuning our own frequencies. So if each person worked on their own frequencies, I think that's the only way we can all wake up to the truth, you know. So the food is, it's not even like, you know, saying like, oh, I don't want meat, I don't want this. It's a frequency. It's an energy. So once you tune yourself, all of that would not even resonate with you, you know. So the more people that work with themselves from within and align themselves, the more will they see like, okay, this is not our food. So we will stop consuming and killing and thinking that we are more superior than any other living being here. So yeah, we're getting there. I have hopes. Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, all the people that have gone vegetarian, vegan, or on juices, uh, working with us, it hasn't been because of an idea. It was because of a shift in consciousness, always, or a shift in energy. So always, 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 it has been a byproduct of a raise of frequency. Nobody has struggled through it, but has just followed naturally the way of their energy. So that's how people do it. When we have process, it's just naturally. It just anything that you don't need, it just falls out. Yeah,
It really does.
the best and
And
most organic way to do it.
yeah. And you know, we are all stuffed. You know, I feel like, you know, the more we cleanse, we are so stuffed. And it's not only food, it's not your own, you know, just here. You're stuffed here too, because we accumulate information throughout our life. So so our vision is so blurry because we are so stuffed. So the more you clear, the more your awareness expands. And it's all about expanded awareness. That's all it is, really. Expand your awareness. Because everything is actually here. It's just that we don't see it. You don't see it.
Somebody was asking me, and what I do is I choose to forget things. I delete my folders, so I don't
Yes.
hold information in my head unless necessary. Everything I need is on Google now. I don't have to keep it in my head. I don't proud myself with having historical knowledge and geographical knowledge and this and that. Well, because just as she said, it's all stuffing your mind. So I delete these folders and I don't even have basic information unless I ask it from source, and then my mind is just floating.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
true.
my method, and some people are wondering, why can't you remember that? Or haven't you learned that in school? Yeah, but I don't really need it, so I don't
Yeah.
care about it. So,
Me too. I'm the same. I can read a book and you can ask me later. Like, it's just empty. You know, I like to be empty. I empty myself. So I like to, you know, instead of like in this, during these days, really, I would recommend you to write rather than reading. Reading is like eating. You're eating information. But when you write, you're actually letting go of whatever that's within, you know?
yes,
So just whatever you're writing, just write, let it go. You don't have to accumulate information. Information is not supposed to be there, you know? Just let go, be
yeah,
empty. Yeah.
true.
Yes.
True, unless you're really guided to find a certain healing technique or a certain method in a book, which is also useful, unless you, if you don't download it all, then books or videos can be useful because you do find exactly
Mhm.
what you needed or have been asking for because angels put it there for you or the universe points you into a certain direction. But then you learn it, you do it, and you let it go.
Exactly.
Same,
Don't
same.
ignore it. It's not about ignoring things. You know, I have a lot of books. I read them. You know, there are some techniques that, oh, this one I resonate with. I do it, but I don't cling on to them. I don't give them any power or
Yes.
anything like that. So it's all about, you know, the power is within you, really.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How much time do we have left? I was knowing
It's
that.
it's over actually right now. If anybody have any, Ellie Tom is not gonna come right now. So if anybody want to ask anything, last questions.
One thing I feel to add is that each year in August we meet in Romania for a Pranic Festival. I don't know if you know that, we meet with Eltrayan and all the other Pranic people that are really diligent. So we pick the ones that have had clear results on this path and can transmission it to others, because that's what I'm interested in, basically. And you have the link of the Pranic Festival. It's August 15 to 18. You have the link on this chat box, so save it somewhere that you can watch it later, or just look Pranic Festival in Romania up on Google, and you can still join us. There's few spaces left. And after that, we go into several retreats, 2 or 3 retreats that have to do with pranic nourishment, and we increase that level of prana. So first retreat after the Pranic Festival, we go to sacred sites and we work with energy vortexes and the beautiful sites of Romania that have certain energy fields that helps us. And then we go to the light nourishment retreat, which goes even deeper into pranic practices. Yeah. So all the way to the end of August, well, we're packed with good, nice time together, and people usually go from one to the other because it builds up the energy for about 2 weeks. And the Pranic Festival in itself is 4 days, so if you don't have much time, you can still join that and go back home if you need to.
That's awesome. Someone is asking, is it possible to share any pranic nourishment techniques or practices? Ellie, do we have any or anything to share, or as a pranic family?
We have some of the recordings that we can share later in the group, I guess. But yeah.
What
Maybe
I
I
can offer
think,
is a 5-minute practice if you want,
please,
Yeah.
yeah, that's wonderful.
like a dinner or breakfast, depending on where you're at.
Breakfast.
Breakfast. Okay, let's center in our hearts. I think we're already there, but just in case. And start breathing through our hearts and center all our energies in our hearts. That's also good solstice meditation, because we had solstice and it's still reverberating. And we start breathing and imagining that each one of us is in the column of light. In a column of light surrounding you from the center of the universe to the center of the earth, going all the way around you and through you. A column of light and the best, most beneficial energy for each one of us, the best, most beneficial color, the best, most beneficial frequency for each one of us now. From the center of the universe to the center of the earth, flowing through us. And every inhale brings in more light from this column of light into our bodies. And each exhale exhales out all the worries, tensions, concerns, everything that you're ready to release, all that's no longer serving you. Another deep breath in. You're taking in more light through your breath and through all the pores of your skin. And with the exhale, feel, sense, or imagine that you are exhaling out the worries, the tensions, the concerns, the body pains, the toxins, and everything is being dissolved, transmuted, transformed in this column of light. And taking another deep breath in. And now we focus in our hearts and we notice that we have a connection cable. A connection cable coming from the center of the universe, this heart of the central sun, all the way down to the top of our heads, all the way down through the center of our heads, all the way down through the pituitary and pineal glands in the center of our heads, down into our throat and down into our heart. So a connection cable that permanently fuels us up with the energy of the heart of the central sun, coming all the way down into our bodies. every time we inhale more energy from the heart of the central sun into our heart. And we see like a sun in the center of our heart radiating stronger and stronger in the heart chakra now. And with the exhale, we let the energy from this sun in the center of our heart to radiate into our cells, into our organs, into all our physical systems, into our auric field, and out into the universe, nourishing, feeding, rounding up our energy in all our body and energy field. Another deep breath in. Fill your chest up with this energy, and your heart chakra becomes brighter and brighter, like the most luminous sun, filling up from the heart of the central sun. And again with the exhale, exhaling out this energy into your cells, into your organs, all your physical systems being filled up, and your auric field, and then radiated out into the universe. Another deep breath in and breathing out. So we take another deep breath and we let this energy go all the way down to our lower chakras as well, from the heart all the way down to the perineum and the feet, and all the way down to the soles of the feet, and all the way down to the roots. And grounding the energy of our heart with the energy of the heart of the central sun all the way down to the heart of Gaia. And we can feel with our roots the pulsations in the heart of Gaia, the energy there. As we connect to it, we realize Gaia sending a bright, loving hug of energy up from the sun in her heart up to the sun in our heart. So this energy goes up now through the through the roots, through the soles of our feet, through the ankles, calves, knees, thighs, into the hips, goes all the way up to the base of the spine, goes all the way up through the spine, up into our heart. So as it goes up into our heart, it fills up our heart with this grounding energy, this beautiful mama love energy from the center of the heart of Gaia, and mixes up with the energy in our heart. Mixes up with the energy in our heart. Just dare to do this exercise with me and see its results. And both energies are blended, the yin from the heart of Gaia and the yang of the heart of the central sun, blending in the sun in your heart. So the three suns are aligned, the sun in the center of the universe, the sun in the center of our heart, the sun in the center of the planet, and your transceiving energy, transmissioning and receiving energy between these three suns, this becoming this cable of light, this container of light. And we know that this shall continue for as long as you breathe. And we come back slowly into our body, feeling this energy still buzzing through us, going up and down from the heart of the central sun to the heart of our body, through the heart of Gaia, and back up. And it comes up in the toroidal systems all the way around you, forming a bubble of light around you, a sphere of light around you, with the best, most beneficial energy that keeps out radiation, Wi-Fi, thought forms, thought patterns, emotions of others, and anything that doesn't serve you. Your toroidal field is going stronger and stronger with every breath. And we come back into our bodies, noticing our presence of our body of light being fully present in the soles of the feet, ankles, calves, knees, thighs, being present in the hips, present in the lower back, present in the abdomen, present in the upper back, chest, arms present in the shoulder blades, head, top of the head, tips of your hairs. You're being fully present back into your body here now. And we're back into the room. So that's how you can actually nourish yourself every day, heal yourselves, connect with the heart of Gaia, the center of the planet, and the heart of the universe. And if anyone has feedback or something you've seen, heard, or need to share, thank you. That's free breakfast or free dinner. How did you feel that? How was it for you? Any tingles, buzzes?
Bubbly.
Bubbly is nice, yes.
That was
Anyone?
very delicious.
Go ahead, sorry. Danielle?
No, that was very delicious. Thank you.
Yeah, I was wondering, anyone feeling nourished? Okay, it's good to hear that there were some.
That was great. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for having me. It's been nice sharing with you. Happy feasting in your days ahead. When are you finishing? In 2 days from now, yes?
We finish, well, on Monday for me, but I don't know when that is for everyone else. So it's on Monday.
Monday lunch for us in Europe.
Yeah, Monday morning.
Okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
blessings. Keep it going and feel free to repeat this exercise or rewatch it whenever you need it for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And that's pretty much what we do in our process, but longer and with sound and with programming and many other things that come up every day. It's an 8-day process, so every day we have a different insight and meditation, but pretty similar as in terms of nourishment.
All right.
Big hugs.
Love you
Blessings.
guys.
Love
Bye.
you. Much love to
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.